Taylor,
Here.
Councilmember Iyer. Here. Councilmember Watson,
Here.
Councilmember Briggs absent, Councilmember Regina absent. You have a quorum.
Hey, got a motion to approve the agenda moved by Iyer Watson. Discussion. All in favor? Opposed? The agenda is approved. And before us, the meeting minutes of February 11, 2025. My motion to approve the minutes moved by Watson Iyer. Discussion. All in favor? Opposed? Minutes 2 are approved. Council unfinished business. Ms. Corr.
Hello. So last time we talked about council rules, and I think most of the amendments were generally okay with the committee, except there was a request for clarification on how a motion to postpone indefinitely would be put back on the agenda. So we have revised the rules to try to make that clearer than it was last time. Basically, a council member wanting to put the item back would put a motion to bring the item back on the agenda. And if that motion is approved, then the postponed item will be placed on the agenda during the meeting. I tried to make that clear. The new language is highlighted in yellow. That's different from the last time we met. I hope that helps. And if you're okay with it, then I'll ask for a motion to send to all council.
Just one question. Does this specify that it would be under the, I guess, proposed agenda sections, or would it just sit, under approval of the agenda? When it gets added to the physical?
The motion to reintroduce the postponed item would be on the main agenda.
Okay.
Right? And if that motion passes, then the item would automatically be added to the agenda. It would be a part of that motion to add it back to the agenda.
Okay.
Does that help clarify?
So the postponed item would be on Legistar under the auspices of the motion to bring back.
Yes, yes, exactly. Does that make sense?
It does.
Okay.
On my part.
So if you are okay with it, I request a motion to allow me to send this to full council.
Moved by Watson Iyer. Discussion. All in favor? Opposed?
Thank you.
Thank you.
What I'll do is, just so they have some time, I'll put this as a communication item at the next meeting, but bring it for a vote at the meeting after, so they have some time. Okay. Thank you.
Council newsletter final comment.
Yes, so I sent it around to all of council, and along with a proposed cadence for rolling it out, and only heard from a couple council members on the questions. So I think we're good to go. But I'll be checking in with folks as we move along through the month to make sure things are moving.
So, in terms of council member narrative text, that will come back for the email.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And will be reviewed.
Yes.
By your,
By all.
Review for calendar.
Yes. Reviewed just for their necessity.
Yes. Yeah, so I think we're good.
Any further discussion? Super. Thanks. I don't think there's anything to vote on for that, is there?
Nope.
Mr. Mahoney. City Administrator updates.
I'll work backwards. So, assuming that you did not write out the and to develop some draft guidelines regarding $1 million set aside. So that's what's in front of you. It's my take on we use it for writing. If you want to take a meeting and review it, since you've got 2 members out, and finalize it next time when everybody's here, that makes sense. Or if you see something on the paper you have
issues with, you can touch base with me before. Or if I've got something that the body has a different take on, we can make changes. Is that okay?
Yeah. Council members, any questions or follow-up?
No, I think it makes sense to take time to review.
Okay.
The other updates, just to roll through, our new deputy city administrator, Mariah Walton, started yesterday. She's upstairs right now.
I've seen her. She's here.
We're fully underway with our budget process. Reminder, budget presentation is April 24th, or 21st. March 24th will be a budget-oriented work session. Joe Giant, our Economic Development Director, begins this coming Monday. Unfortunately, Lisa Wondras, our Communications Director, is retiring. Her husband landed a can't-miss job in Arizona, and her son decided to go to ASU, so they're going to Arizona. We'll be here until October, but we're going to go ahead and begin the search process now because it takes us a while. Our annual report for 24 is out. Tomorrow, I am having a face-to-face meeting in City Hall with a representative group from the Wallingford area. Sitting down tomorrow morning, first thing. We've had our initial meeting with CBRE regarding the line lot in 415 West Washington. We have agreed to meet every other week clip until they get sold. So that is moving along, where our initial task is to collaborate on the marketing materials that we'll use for both sites. And that's it.
Any questions? Cool.
The only update on my end is that just due to some personal things in my life, my own evaluation is pushed back a little bit, but I'm working on it. That's it.
I'm just wondering about the survey. So is that,
It's not gone out yet.
okay,
Yeah.
okay,
I'm hoping it'll be out by the end of this week.
okay.
Mr. Mahoney, number 3, proposed amendment to city DDA parking agreement.
In the agreement that was passed, I'm not sure when,
2011.
there is a provision within the agreement that requires the city council and the DDA board to do one joint meeting a year. We typically have been doing that at CTN because you can't fit both bodies upstairs easily and make television work and all of that. There is a mutual desire to revisit that provision of the agreement and to repeal it, because Mara now comes every month, every other month, and gives you an update. So the annual meeting with the board members sitting there is sort of redundant. He's going over the same thing twice, essentially, just because that's required. So if the committee is comfortable with it, we would move forward with a provision to amend the agreement to repeal that section. Everything else stays as is, and then we would not have a joint city council DDA board joint meeting this October and going forward. So DDA is supportive of that, and if council is supportive of that, that's the direction that we look at. questions.
Well, I'll say, I maybe have like a little bit of a reservation on that because, yes, while we do get the updates, from, more at the, bi-monthly or, every other month updates, I think the meeting does provide a chance for a little more of an exchange, and I think it is kind of good for council members to, meet the DDA board members. I understand because, I think if you looked at our slideshow, yeah, there were probably, maybe a third of it was kind of repeated slides, but at the same time, there was maybe a little broader discussion afterwards. But I think if it's a big ask from, more of them, there's inordinate resources from staff, I understand, but I don't know if anyone else has thoughts on it.
I'll say it was when, as the council member who was leading in negotiating the parking agreement back in 20 whatever, as I recollect, it was an artifact of a time when there was less communication and less good feelings between the groups, and was seen as some species of check on an organization that at this juncture, I think, factually and is working well and is perceived to be working well. Additionally, although I certainly for my part appreciate the opportunity, the fact that it is an opportunity for people to talk with each other. I think if you looked at the if you watched these various meetings, you would not see people talking to each other. You would see staff presenting, council members responding, and DDA members saying very, very little. And so as far as I think that it's not the forum for the good integration that could exist. And that if something else were desired, then there might be another way. But as far as having this obligatory thing, or this contractually obligatory thing.
Yeah. Well, I think the presentations at council are good. Yeah. Good development.
We have a work session coming up on April 17th. Oh, sorry. Let me look at the list.
So we're talking about the parking agreement that has one work session requirement in the fall of every calendar year.
Yes.
Yes.
So I don't know that we need to vote on this. Is there any, I guess, contrary directionality to bringing to having attorneys work on it and bring it to council for the deliberative vote?
That's the part.
Yeah, no, I'm okay with it.
Hearing no objection, I think we'll go in that direction. Speaking of work sessions with the DDA,
We have a special work session that we set up. DDA would be the sole topic of the evening. That Laura would be coming to talk about their development plan and actually get into the discussion about revisiting the TIF cap and things that she's alluded to in some of the other briefings. It would take about an hour for the DDA to present the whole thing. And so we thought just have one topic because we expect there to be some discussion. Because really what it's moving towards theoretically is, does the city want the DDA to do more town, which would relieve us of the responsibility for it? And if so, what does that look like? And in order to do it, it would call for a discussion some level regarding the cap that was put in place whenever it was, predates me, but, that's the purpose of that session. So, just to recap, you've got service area administrators talking about the budget on March 24th. You have the DDA talking about the work plan on April 17th. And the budget will be presented on April 21st.
We need a resolution to bring that. Okay.
So the proposal was to bring a resolution to add the April 17th work session and also amend then the August date due to the election and move it to the Thursday.
This is number 5.
Yeah.
Somebody just cascading or leapfrogging or, I don't know, there's a big old metaphor there, but. All right, so no further discussion of 4. I guess you roll on to 5, the resolution to amend the calendar for that. Is that it?
For both of those items, it sounds premature to remove the fall work session already scheduled.
That it does. But I will, we can perhaps do that later. So for resolution number 5, any moved by Watson Iyer? Is there further discussion of that? All in favor? Opposed? It too is approved.
So I'll put that on for the 17th.
Thank you. Is there any information or upcoming business? We now have public comment in-house. Is there public comment in-house?
Kathy Griswold, I have a couple of asks and an update. I would ask that you stake out the public walkways that are passed between houses that are used to get to schools and for other reasons. They're really much safer than bike lanes and a lot of other things that we're expanding, and that's a good thing. But I believe that those public pathways are critical to achieving Vision Zero goals. It would also be helpful to educate the public about the public right-of-way, because people who don't have sidewalks think that they own up to the curb, and they are continuing to put in shrubbery right to the curb so no one walks on their property. So if you're walking down the street and a car is coming, you either have to jump into, you know, the prickly bushes or hope you don't get hit. So those are 2 asks. Lighting continues to be a major problem. I called the University of Michigan president's office because of all the lights were out. They assured me that the city takes care of that, and I updated them that no, the city does not necessarily take care of it. They simply send the tickets over to DTE, and that no one is proactively looking for streetlight outages until the university needs to identify those. Number 3, the city continues to use the wrong signage, and I know this is nitpicky, but it's a life and death situation, and the city would be liable, and it has to do with better managing our construction site. On Glen right now, we have, and I'll put in a ticket, a sign that shows 2 lanes going forward on Glen Street. 100 feet on, there is a sign that says lane swerves over a single lane. A lane does not swerve over, 2 lanes merge into one. And that is like engineering 101. I've already corrected that problem on 5th Street, and now we have it again. So I don't know who's responsible for those. I attended the last transportation commission meeting via Zoom. They talked about how congestion around the school areas needs to be addressed with remote drop-offs. They need to work better with the school board and staff. All of these things used to happen and have fallen away and need to be reinstated, which brings me to the key school walkways and crosswalks where still nothing has been done. It's really shameful. That's all. Thanks.
Thank you. Is it anyone online who'd like to speak at public comment? We know public comment is closed. Have a motion to adjourn, please, moved by Mayor Watson, discussion, all in favor, opposed, adjourned. Thank you, everybody.